to me, religion is where I try to crack the code of how to live and how to please God. It's my attempt to figure out all the answers, figure out all the right steps, the list of things that I should do. I know that most religions in the world have a list of the things you should do, and when I was younger, I had my list. I understood what pleased God, or at least I thought I did. Coming on 3 years ago now, God saved me, and He opened my eyes to grace, that there is no cracking the code of salvation. There is no right prayer to pray, no right heart attitude to have, no right actions or things I can do to make myself saved. It is impossible. Only Jesus can save, and He must do it in absence of my attempts to save myself. Even so, having been saved by grace, I am still endeavoring to figure out how to live. I am still trying to crack God's code. How am I supposed to live that pleases God? The last 3 months, I haven't been able to even attempt to live in a way that pleases God. I am failing on all fronts. At least that is how it feels to my religiously wired mind. But I don't see this as some sort of punishment because I fail to please God. I see this as God showing me that there's no cracking the code to how to live either. I'm missing the point. Yet again, I have just revised my religion, but I'm still living as if religion is how to please God. Galatians says, I am crucified with Christ, and it is no longer I who live. Which occurred to me today. That means I am not supposed to figure out how to live. I'm not supposed to live at all. It is Christ who lives in me, and every attempt I make to live the right way is restricting Jesus Christ who lives inside of me from being Himself, from doing His thing, from living in my place, because I'm taking control of the puppet strings and moving myself in all these places I think are all good, but my efforts are yet again living like religion, trying to crack the code, figure out how to live, and the point is, I don't. Jesus does. A friend of mine sent me this verse reference this morning. It's always been one of my favorite verses, but it hit me again. This is 2 Corinthians 12:9, and He has said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. For nearly 3 years now, I've known grace was sufficient for salvation, but grace is also sufficient for life. And when this is God speaking, His grace is sufficient, it is enough, it is exactly what is necessary. This is the God whose standard is perfection. And grace is enough. It's not grace plus works, it's not Jesus plus me, it is not grace plus at all. It is just grace. It is sufficient, and there is no desperate trying, effort, and striving on my part. That is just getting in the way. It got in the way of salvation. It is getting in the way of life, because it is not supposed to be me who lives. And the reason His grace is sufficient is because power is perfected in weakness. And then Paul says, most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am well content with weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions, with difficulties, for Christ's sake, for when I am weak, then I am strong. So much of today's world emphasizes being strong, being fearless, being victorious, being whatever. Christians too, we are to hang on to Jesus, right? That's what faith is supposed to be. It's clinging with all of your might, as if your life depends on it, to Jesus Christ. But for me, that is the opposite of faith. For me, faith is not clinging to Jesus like my life depends on it. Faith is letting go and falling, knowing that He will catch me. He holds me. He will never let go. This song is called Let Go. And it's my prayer about these 3 months and from these 3 months and from all the times before, because I'm going to need to keep reminding myself of this. To just sit here in my weakness and be perfectly fine with my weakness, be better than fine, boast about it. So in the attempt to boast about my weaknesses, I am depressed. I am wishing for heaven in a really hope it's soon kind of way. I am wearing pajama pants, which you can't see. I figured that'd be all right. They can't see it. I'm barely out of bed this morning. And I can't play this song, not very well anyway. I'm going to be cheating a whole lot. If you ever check my website and download the music, the piano music, you will see just how much I'm cheating on this song. These are my weaknesses, but this is where God works. When I've got nothing at all, and where I'm not even trying to live, I'm just sitting here and letting Him live. That's when I'm strong. That's the only time I'm strong, only time I ever will be. It's called Let Go. My fingers are breaking from trying to hold you. My mind is shaking from trying to understand you. My heart is quaking from trying to understand. I'm flailing to hold your hand, and so I let go so you can hold me, and so I fall down so you can lift me. So